Hey folks, this is IOE Throwing back with some more World of Tanks. As you can see, this is Extreme Unicorn Warfare. In his Progetto, this is a tier 10 game on Erlenberg, and these guys have this thing tricked out. This is a platoon of 3. You got Stefan Der Assi, Mr. Alexa, something like that. An Extreme here, and all these guys have premium camo and looks like stickers. I wish I could read what they said, but I don't think I can. Anyways, so if you don't know how the new Italian tanks work, they are basically autoloaders that are also single shot guns. So the whatever round is loaded into the magazine first, if he fires that, he can wait as if it was a single shot and wait to reload the shell. And if he decides not to use it as a single shot, he can just unload the entire magazine. However, unloading the entire magazine takes significantly longer to reload than feels appropriate for an autoloader, because the real amazingness of this gun comes if you're only firing one shell and then one shell and then one shell, and just waiting for that single fire reload to kick in every time. And if you do that every time, and then when you need the burst fire, you unload the other 2 shells, then this tank will play really, really well for you. If you don't do that, if you're unloading your entire clip all the time, then you're gonna have horrible experiences in this tank. This tank is really built to be a single fire gun that occasionally burst fires to finish off a high priority target or finish off multiple opponents, or just because you're about to die and you might as well get your damage out, right? I feel like I wanted to mention something else, but I can't remember what that was, so we're just gonna forget about it. As both of these guys are raining in damage, and they track the object to, was that 277? Ooh, I haven't seen one of these things in the wild. So, yeah, but you can tell the gun reloads much faster if they don't fire it in auto burst mode. However, they really wanted to do as much damage to that tier 10 as quickly as possible, and so they both burst fired and did a lot of damage to it. It looks like all 3 of them are actually in this location, my bad. So that means that the Action X is right there, of course. And so these guys are focus firing targets. Nice shot. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to follow it up. And now we're reloading more than half the mag. And so it will take time. The one thing I'm not 100% certain about with this gun is if you reload to a different shell type halfway through the mag, unless you completely swap out the mag, I'm pretty sure it just continues to load the same kind of ammunition it was loading before, no matter whether or not you would want it to load something else. But if somebody knows differently, then obviously in the comments below, tell me what you think. Tell me what you know. The more the better, right? Now, with an enemy tier 10 tank already knocked out of the game, that significantly alters the advantage in our favor. However, we have lost 3, I was going to say 2, but now we've lost 3 friendly tanks. So the balance is offset yet again, and I don't think it's in our favor. Well, Extreme doesn't put the last shell in, which is good. Means he can get this reload in nice and early and be ready to engage, assuming he gets another engagement off on this guy, or bat chat, maybe. This Progetto really wants to fight, and Extreme is putting all his shells over there that he can. Now though, he's in a little bit of a predicament because there is 5 enemy tanks looking at him, and no, actually, I thought they were going to charge. They looked like they were getting set to charge, but they didn't, thankfully, because Unicorn would have died had they charged. Now they're coming out just about 30 seconds to it. Had they done that earlier, when we first saw them getting set, then Unicorn would be in so much trouble because, of course, he wouldn't have been loaded. Whereas now that he's loaded, he doesn't care so much. He's perfectly acceptable. It's perfectly acceptable for him, for targets to charge at him because, he's a fully loaded autoloader, more or less, if he needs to be. Oh, really? Tracking the Waffentrager in place and continue to do damage to him. And that last shell was supposed to track him yet again and let his allies just clean up the damage, but that's not quite how it went down. And it looks like he's going to use one of his precious reload shells, mid-reload shells. Oh, as the 183 one-shots that poor PTA. Wow. Not quite enough damage to finish off the Conqueror. If he'd let this gun reload and then single fire it, he'd probably have the Conqueror almost dead by now, and actually probably dead by now. But he's spending a lot more time unloading the entire clip. I assume that's because he enjoys the burst damage of it, but it's kind of inefficient as far as the shooting goes. So the DPS drops dramatically by like, I don't remember the numbers, but I'll tell you in the at the replay screen. But I think it's like 500 DPS or something like that is the difference between if you're firing it single shell versus just unloading the entire magazine and then reloading the entire magazine. And so it's quite big. It's quite a big gap in difference, or in how much damage you have the potential to do, right? Oh, not gonna get the shot on Pajero before he ducks around the corner. Thankfully, though, we have Stefan on the other side, ready to pick up the slack, as that leopard back there ducks back into cover, and we cannot shoot him. Extreme making the run. This is the deadliest part of this new map, which I utterly hate, by the way. It is the most campiest map they've ever made in World of Tanks. It promotes so much camping, it's not even funny. Because of the fact that there is no way to progress up here, you just have to all-out charge. It means that teams will sit up on these ridgelines forever, waiting for the right time. There's never a right time. There is just the time when you go. In order to charge, and you'll end up losing games because your team will sit back and get picked off by tank destroyers and other crap sitting behind these double bush lines, and just utterly more or less in the open. Their team is behind our bush lines, and your team has to be in the open in order to cross the gap, and it's just makes for such horrible campy games. I don't like it at all. If I could strike one map from my browser or my client every time there was an update, this would be the map I was killing this time around. As we get that shot on the Lorraine to finish it off. Oh, wait, did we kill? We killed one of the other artillery, right? So that's the Pascucci's in? I don't know. I don't remember. We'll figure it out at the end. I thought for a second the T-25 was alone. I was trying to figure out why Extreme was pointing his gun in a random direction. But of course he's aiming on the last spot the Jagdtiger was hoping to either line up a shot on his unprotected flank, or more likely hoping to put his gun between the Jagdtiger bullet and his tank. That T-25 is not going to last very long. Actually, it lasts that long. And now we're looking for the Jagdtiger. If he spots ourselves or Stefan, though, this is going to be the end of our games. Unless, of course, he misses somehow. which is possible but unlikely at those ranges considering it's a Jagdtiger. Now with the no HE load in the tank and the next 3 rounds he's going to be firing premium whether he wants to or not, because that's the only thing left in his tank. It looks like the Jagdtiger... Wait. Okay. Enough damage came in on him that we only did the last 100. Oh well. That's still not bad. Well done. Oh no, I didn't even realize that we lost Alex at some point. I wonder what happened. I'm sorry, Alex. You weren't the hero, so I didn't pay attention, right? That's how that works. Let's jump over and I'll remember to look up the DPS of the DPS difference of Prosciutto. Ace Tanker, Spotter, Fighter, Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect, Pascucci's Medal, and the Lavashinkos for killing tanks bigger than you are. Nice job. So I did spend quite a bit of time looking up the DPS, longer than I meant to actually, but it turns out I can't find any solid numbers on it. There's lots of places that are quick to say that it's DPM with single shot, or its DPM is 1800, but I can't tell if that's if you unload the entire magazine and then refill it, and then unload the entire magazine and then refill it, or if that's just single shotting it all the time, or what. Really, this thing should have several DPM numbers. Should have one for reloading the first magazine every time, one for reloading reloading the first round every time, one for reloading the first 2 rounds every time, and then one for complete magazine dumps and then reloads. And that isn't anywhere that I can find, so yeah. I'm not going to bother with it. I could probably time it out, but I just don't care that much, so... We're going to go with, if you can use a single fire mode and then burst fire when you need to kill something or need to take something down or track it, then do that. But these two guys worked really, really well together, and that is the reason they carried this game. One or both of them was tracking everything, and they're focusing their fire, and it was a great game. Thank you so much, both of you guys, for letting us watch over your shoulder as you did this great gameplay. 10,000 experience. Yeah, I think that might be worth it, you know? Just a smidge, and 100k in credits earned because he didn't fire a single gold round that game. Well done, sir. Thank you so much for saying this in. That is, of course, mind you, with a 20,000 credit. What was that? That was the rations, right? The extra combat rations or whatever. It was well done. Thank you so much, Extreme, for saying this in. Thank you all for watching. Have a great night. This is IO Ether out.